Now, I'm going to give you a few kind of headline things before we get into the meat of this. Stuff which, if you at home turn off now, or if you all decide this is a waste of your time and leave, things which I hope will stay with you. And they are various points which I think are very, very key. And the first one is this. Nobody has to read a single thing you write, not even your mother, your father, however much they love you, however much they tell you they love you. They don't have to read anything. You do not have the right to be read just because you put all the effort into writing something. Your job is to be read and to give the reader a reason to read what you've written. I think too often people assume that they get a free pass because they've sat in front of a screen typing away like mad, and then it turns out that they're rather boring the pants off the reader. Always remember, writing doesn't exist unless it's read, and it is your job to make it readable. We have metrics at the Observer. We measure everything, how many page views you're getting, where it's coming from, even which device it's coming from. The most brutal metric that we have at the Observer is the reading time. And there is nothing more humbling than seeing that the vast majority of your readership clicked onto your piece and clicked away 13 seconds later. I would like to tell you, we measure it in clocks, so it's out of 5 clocks. And what you want is the 5 clocks, ideally 5 gold clocks. And I'm smug enough to say that most of the time I get between 4 and 5 on my restaurant reviews. Go me. Now, I'm going to take a first question because it's relevant to the next thing I'm going to show you, which is from David in Ghana, brackets smugly saying, although currently on the beach in Mombasa. Hi Jay, when you're beginning an article or a book, how much time do you spend drafting the opening sentence or section? How important is it to grab the reader from the start? Well, lo and behold, here's the next screen. The opener is everything. How you start a piece is the moment you tell your reader that what you've asked them to read is worth their time. And if that opener is dull or tiresome or doesn't actually tell you anything or doesn't grab you, perhaps does make you laugh, if it makes you laugh, that's a good thing. Throughout these 90 minutes, I will be talking constantly about how pieces open, what you can do as an opener. A few years ago, it's not so, post-COVID, it doesn't really happen anymore. We used to have a feature as well at the Observer where all the feature writers would sit banging away on their copy. And I can tell you that on Friday afternoons, we would all sit there staring at the ceiling, begging each other for a good opening line. Something which we thought would separate us out. The next point, and this isn't just a journalistic thing, it is for all writing. Research, 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 research. The easiest thing to help you when you're writing something, anything, is to have content, to have something to write about. If you think that you can keep the reader's attention just through the beautiful thoughts in your fantastic heads, well, you're handicapping yourself, you're disabling yourself. Find stuff out. And in the age of the web, there is no end of sources of information. You should be able to find things. So before you write, ask yourself, have I done enough research? Sometimes we do get to the question which is, what is enough? And that's a very good one. And we might get into that as well. We have a question from the audience. Yes, sir.
Research. If you're doing your research, what I'm presuming you have to use reliable, verifiable sources.
If you're doing your research, you presume you have to use verifiable, reliable sources. Yes, that's a very good idea, and you have to decide what your verifiable, reliable sources are. Wikipedia is not one of them. Wikipedia is not a bad starting place. I won't say that I never look at Wikipedia, but I make sure that I have cross-checked what I've read on Wikipedia. If you're somebody who thinks that the mainstream media is a con and not worth trusting, what in God's name are you doing here? It's a ludicrous idea that journalists, professional journalists, are involved in some form of racket to pervert the brains of everybody who's reading or consuming their stuff. So yes, verifiable sources. I'm not going to get into what is and isn't a verifiable source, apart from to say Reddit is not a verifiable source.